Started a little bit late, but we're not too far. I appreciate everyone coming and sticking with us outside. Your information that you put out is helpful to this investigation, and the number one priority we have right now is these two little girls at this on this podium. This is our priority, and this is what we're doing to make to get these girls home. I'd like to introduce two people today. District Attorney of York County, David Sunday. That's D-A-V-I-D, S-U-N-D-A-Y, and Chief Timothy Damon. It's T-I-M-O-T-H-Y, D-A-M-O-N. Chief Damon is the chief of the York Area Regional Police Department. He would like to make a statement. After his statement is made, I'm going to come back and sort out the timeline, kind of straighten out some things that have been put out that some of it's misinformation and some of it just needs a little bit more of an explanation. So we'll come to me, we'll do some timeline, and then we'll open it up to a few questions. I'm sure everyone here understands this is a fluid investigation. Information could come in at any time. We have a lot of work to do. Typically, we would spend more time with you and get as much information to you as possible, but in this case, these little girls are out there, they're still missing, and we have some work to get done. So we'll answer some questions so that you can put your information out that you need to give us a hand, and then we're going to get back to work. So, Chief Timothy Damon.
This investigation is focused on the safe return of Gianna and Amina. There is an active felony arrest warrant for Robert Vicoza, and we encourage Robert to turn himself in at the nearest law enforcement agency where he is located. Anyone who is aware of Robert's whereabouts should report this information to their local law enforcement agency so that he can be identified and apprehended. Someone knows where Robert, Gianna, and Amina are currently located, and this is a call to action to the community to help us in their safe return so that these two girls can be returned safely to their home. Anyone who is assisting or harboring Robert will face criminal consequences. The mother of Gianna and Amina would like me to read a statement. I want the public to know that Gianna and Amina are very loving, kind, funny, and super smart girls. Gianna wants to be a scientist, and Amina wants to be a veterinarian. I am so grateful for all of the friends, family, law enforcement, and even strangers for their support and prayers. I am anxiously awaiting their return. I miss them and love them and need them home. So let me be clear. This investigation is on the safe return of Gianna and Amina. There is a felony arrest warrant for Robert Vicosa, and anyone who is assisting or harboring him will face criminal consequences.
Again, I'm going to kind of break down the timeline here and give you some information that maybe was mistakenly put together last night. But first off, I want to plead to Mr. Vicoza. Sir, you are, at one time, you were a police officer. In your heart, you know that what you're doing is not right. You are a father. You are a father to these two young ladies. We're asking you, we're pleading with you, take them anywhere that you can. Drop them off at a Sheetz, at a Rutter's, at any convenience store. Take them anywhere where there's a responsible person inside that they can go in and call 911 and get help. We are looking for them. There is a warrant for you. You understand that. You were a law enforcement officer. Do the right thing, Robert. Bring them back. I gave their mother my personal cell phone number. I can let her know within seconds that they're safe. Do the right thing. We received a call earlier this week from the estranged wife of Robert Vicosa. She is a victim. She is the mother of these two children. She reported to us that she was violently assaulted at the family home. This was on Pleader Drive, P-L-E-A-D-E-R, in Windsor Township. She was assaulted there violently, and she was there for over 24 hours, possibly more. She reported this to us, that there were guns involved, multiple guns, multiple calibers, long rifles and handguns. There was some drug use going on at the home. She was told at this point that he was in a desperate way. We didn't know whether he was going to be harmful to himself, to the kids, but that's the information she passed on, that she was afraid for the kids, afraid for herself. She was actually told by Mr. Vicoza that there was possibly a tracker on her phone and a tracker on her car. She drove to a place that was nowhere near a police department in another jurisdiction, and this is where the cooperation between law enforcement agencies started. She went to Spring and Sperry Township Police. They drove her to us to start this investigation so that her car and her phone could not be tracked. Once they got here, she gave us all the details of this investigation. She reported that Amina and Gianna were at the home, 6 and 7 years old. Gianna is the young lady in the white. Amina is the young lady in the red. Gianna is the older one, the older sister. They're at the house together, and she was afraid for them. We quickly put together a search warrant. We got all the information we need. We got this victim, the mother, some medical attention that she needed, and got all of our documents squared away. We went to the house on Monday morning, or Monday afternoon. We served this warrant, and we found corroborating information that the assault did occur, that the drug activity did occur. The house was in disarray. A window in the back was completely shattered out, and there was a dog left behind that was emaciated and looked like it was malnourished. Nobody was left in the home. The kids were gone, and Mr. Vicoza was also gone. There was one car left inside. That was a BMW. No other cars were there. At that point, we received information that he was driving possibly driving a black Acura, left the scene. The black Acura TL belongs to a Tia Bynum's family member. Tia is a close friend of Robert Vicosa. They worked together for a period of time, and they became close friends. At that point, of course, we start looking for Mr. Vicosa. We start looking for these children. The best way to do that is to try to find his phone. Everybody carries phones. We sent a ping out. The ping came back to Tia's house. Investigators immediately, they go to Tia's house. She's there. They talk to her. She was, we would say, less than forthcoming with all the information that we needed. She did take the interview. We did not search her house at that point. We were not granted that consent. We roll into Tuesday. At this point, we have these young ladies are still missing. Tuesday, yesterday, a second search warrant was served on the home. We went back and we took this dog out. This dog was emaciated. Again, the cooperation between law enforcement agencies. We had Pennsylvania State Police, dog enforcement come in to assist us. We took that dog out. In secondary, we confirmed that there was no more interaction inside the house. Nobody came back, no extra cars were there. Everything was exactly as we left it, and the door that we went into in the back was exactly as we left it the day before. Later on in the day, we received a call from the area of Huson Road, H-U-S-O-N, in Red Lion, south of Red Lion Borough in Windsor Township. We received a call from a female that had contacted her son through Facebook Messenger. She told her son that she is being held hostage at gunpoint. A black male has her held hostage on her property, and she has very poor cell phone coverage. That's why she had to go through Facebook Messenger. Our officers responded down there as quickly as possible. Within minutes, we had multiple agencies on scene, including the Pennsylvania State Police. They quickly went back there and found that he had already fled the scene. What had happened is, sometime over the last couple days, the Acura that he was driving turned out in a waterway down near Huson Road. The car tried to drive along a earth barrier to this waterway, and it may have happened at night. It's at some point this earth driving area got more narrow, and to the right front end of this car slipped and fell into this waterway. The car is now submerged, not underwater, but probably submerged, at least covering the front end and the front tires. At this point, we believe that Mr. Vicosa and these two young ladies that we're looking for had to walk through that waterway, up the embankment to the other side, where they found a camper on the home of the victim. This is the home of the people that are down near Huson Road. The camper was not a lived-in camper. This was a camper that's used for summer vacations, so no heat, no water running to it, no electricity. We believe they went inside there and could have possibly spent the night there. The way this happened is the lady that lives on the property, the victim of this, she went to take her afternoon walk around noon. She walked up this path, which is private, and she looks over and she sees a car in her canal, as she calls it. When she looks at the canal, she hears a voice. She turns to her right. Coming out of the camper is a black male with a towel around his waist, and he puts a gun in her face and tells her that he needs her car. He needs her to find rope to tie her up with. She did everything 100% properly, the way a good witness can be in this case. She did not provide him with rope. She did not provide him with any means to take her anywhere else from that scene, which is exactly what we would want people to do. She then offered her car. She offered blankets to him and to the girls because they were wet from going through the stream and probably very cold after spending the night in that trailer. She provided them with everything they need, gave her car, gave her keys willingly, and off they went. At this point, we know the car. This was the Volkswagen Silver Jetta that was stolen from her. At that point, we know the car, we know the tag, we have everything that we need. We ping the phone because he also stole her phone. Shortly after that, the ping comes back to the area of East Lancaster Street in Red Lion Borough. Officers responded to that within minutes. The car was abandoned in front of a house. There was a house of interest there. It turned out to be nothing. A witness had told us that there was possibly a connection, but that turned out to be not valid. That house was searched. At that point, we were able to set up our command post south of that area, thinking that Mr. Vicosa had several options. His options were find a place to go into, find another car, or meet somebody that can take him out of there. So we called the Pennsylvania State Police Aviation Unit, and it was incredible. I asked them how long they would be to show up. They said, sir, 8 miles, 30 seconds. They were here within 30 seconds flying over our area. They used all the information, all the technology they had to search for anybody that may be on foot in that area. At that point, we also had cooperation with all of our federal agencies. The District Attorney's Office. We had cooperation from the York County Quick Response Team, cooperation from Pennsylvania State Police and Aviation, the federal authorities, the Sheriff's Department of York County and their K-9. At this point, we have these two young ladies are still missing. Mr. Vicosa is still on the run. We, at this point, don't know where he's at. We go back to the beginning. What's the best way to find someone that may be missing? Let's ping that phone again, see where it's at. Ping came back to Tia's house again. May have been there the whole time. It's worth a shot. These girls are there, we're going back. We secured another search warrant. We went back to that house last night, did the search warrant, and he was not there. Miss Tia Bynum was not there, and her car was missing. That is the car that was put out over the social media last night. However, there is a correction that needs to be done. Her car, if I can step over here, Tia's car is this one. It's a black 2013 Lexus GS 350. This is where the confusion comes in. Lexus, PennDOT has this car registered as a Lexus G35. That car does not exist. Infiniti makes a G35. If you run the registration plate, PennDOT's going to tell you it's a Lexus G35. It is a Lexus GS 350. This is her car. We don't know definitively whether they are in that car or definitively whether they are with Tia, but we can say Tia is not in her home. Both girls are still missing. That car is missing, and so is Mr. Vicosa. At this point, we're going to do everything we can to further this investigation and follow up on any lead that we may have. We plan tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. If we don't have any more information, there's nothing substantial put out, we're going to meet here again tomorrow at 9 a.m. and put out whatever we may have. Certainly, if more information comes out today, we will come back, we will put something out on our Facebook page, and we will call you folks back. Individual interviews would be fine if that's what's necessary to put the information out. Our detectives are currently working on it. We currently have U.S. Marshals in the building, and we're doing everything we can. So at this point, are there any questions that we can answer, keeping in mind that we need to get back to our investigation? Let's take this one at a time, and we'll see what we can answer. I saw you first.
Is Tia an active Baltimore County officer?
He is not an active Baltimore County officer. Tia is a police officer. She's a close friend with Robert Vicosa, and we know that she's a current police officer. It may be with Baltimore County, but if you would contact Baltimore County's Human Resources, they could confirm or deny that. Yes, ma'am.
Where is Vicoza currently employed?
We don't think he is currently employed. He lost his job with the police department in August of this year.
Why wasn't an Amber Alert issued for the children?
Okay, an Amber Alert typically is information that's put out that we have substantial information that we can say definitively this person is in this car with this registration plate. We were seconds away from issuing the Amber Alert on the Volkswagen that was stolen from Husan Road. Seconds away, and the reason that didn't go out is I wanted to inform the mother of these two children that an Amber Alert was going to hit her phone before it hit her phone. Went down to her, she's very close to us. I talked to her, and within seconds, the car was located. We do not want to put an Amber Alert out to have everyone in the public find a male that matches this description with two little girls and have everyone in the world harassing them. We want definitive information that the people we're going after are the people that we want.
You still
Yes, sir.
But the Lexus, which we know is a 350, is there an Amber Alert now for that car?
We do not know definitively whether he is in that car. We simply know that that car is missing from her residence, but that does not mean he's in it. She could have loaned that car to a family member, and we can't have everyone in the world going after that family member. When we connect them, that'll go out.
And what's the location of the house where the girls were?
Oh, that's on Pleader, P-L-E-A-D-E-R, Pleader Drive, and that's in Windsor Township. It may be a red line mailing address. Yes, sir.
So what are the parameters of the search area?
I'm sorry.
How wide an area are
It's-
you now searching?
As far as we need to go, this information was put out. I'm sure by this point it's out nationally. We'll do everything we can to make this happen. And that's where the cooperation of these agencies come into play. We have federal agencies that we're cooperating with that can reach as far as we need to.
Do you believe that the girls and Robert and Tia are still in the county?
I have no information one way or the other to confirm or deny that. I really wish I did. If I had information like that, I probably wouldn't be standing here. I'd be out looking for them.
Does Robert have custody of the kids?
We believe there is 50-50 custody of the children.
Do you believe that Tia, or have any information that Tia may have been involved in any of these violent, assaults on the ex or anything of that nature?
It was reported that they had a very close relationship, and she may have been in that residence on Pleader Drive sometime during that weekend. The details of that remain to be seen. We'd like to talk to her and have her come in also. We've given her multiple opportunities to come talk to us and set out her timeline.
And how closely are you working with Baltimore County Police to get more information?
Very closely. Baltimore County Police Department was here all day yesterday into the evening.
How much more difficult does this investigation and the search become when you have two police officers that have experience that are the ones that you're looking for?
Police officers have experience. The biggest challenge with that is they know somewhat what we may do next. But in that case, we're going to do everything we can to counter what they think they know. The thing that we have that they're lacking is cooperation between all of our agencies. They're alone by themselves. Nobody's cooperating with them. We have all the resources to our benefit to go after them. And that's why, again, the cooperation between local, federal, the district attorney's office, local police departments. We had police departments from the southern part of the county coming up to Husan Road in our area to help look. So, yeah, he's a former police officer, but we're not very concerned about that.
Excuse me. I just want to reiterate that if anybody comes in contact with Robert, that we do not want them to approach him. We would rather you call 911 or your local law enforcement agency to address that. This is not, because of his prior experience as a police officer, it's not somebody that we want a citizen to approach and try to do, be a good Samaritan on this. For the safety of the citizens, call 911, call your local law enforcement agency if you know where his whereabouts are, so that they can take the appropriate steps to apprehend him. Okay?
So what kinds of weapons, or multiple weapons, do you believe are in possession of the two individuals you're now looking for?
So Ed, I'm going to take a couple questions and then we got stuff to do, okay? The only firearm that we are aware of that he had as of yesterday was a handgun that he used in the robbery on Husan Road. Does he have possession previously of other firearms? Yes, but we don't know if they're actually in his possession.
Can you say whether there were any weapons found in Ms. Vining's home during that search at this point?
I believe they may have found some weapons. I don't know all of the details of what those are. As a police officer, I would expect that she may have some firearms in her home.
Is Byron believed to be involved with the home invasion?
We do not know that information right now, and I would be speculating if I said otherwise. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for coming. If we do not hear from us, 9 a.m. tomorrow, we'll reconvene at this location. Thank you, everyone.